So after 1 year of self-improvement, I finally come to the realization of saying Alhamdulillah. And now, since I've been saying Alhamdulillah a lot more frequently, it has truly helped me get out of a lot of ruts or a lot of situations, both good or bad, in this dunya, in this life. So before I kind of share my experience of my 1 year kind of journey of me coming to the realization of saying Alhamdulillah, what is the meaning of Alhamdulillah? Well, the meaning of Alhamdulillah is praise be to God, right? And we say it in a lot of the dhikr every single time after we finish our salah. We say Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. But what does it actually, mean? Like, we just kind of say it blindly, but do we know the true meaning of it? And I was watching this Mufti Menk video not too long ago about, Alhamdulillah, and how most people, or most of us really, I don't want to sound arrogant or anything, how most of us don't even know the true meaning of Alhamdulillah, and we don't actually live by Alhamdulillah. He mentioned how our lives are not led by saying Alhamdulillah, which it should be, because then it truly, gives us more leverage for success. So I'm going to be going over some of my tough times and exactly how that, while I didn't say Alhamdulillah back then, I was saying I was being ungrateful, I was, always complaining, and how now, since I look back, I should have been saying Alhamdulillah, because now I say Alhamdulillah for it, So if you are actually going through some tough time, or even a good time, and you're watching this video, and I'm saying this to myself as well, we should be saying Alhamdulillah. So right now, let's say Alhamdulillah right now. This is an action step for all of us. Say Alhamdulillah. Praise be to Allah for the situation that we're in and the situation that we're given. And now we can get started with the video. So the thing was, I was always wondering why we, have to always praise Allah for the things that we achieve or the things that we're in. For example, say we get an A+ on our exam, which, can't lie, it's a little difficult, but you know what I mean. Say we get an A+ on our exam, or A- on the exam. Why do we have to say Alhamdulillah, praise be to God, praise be to Allah? And why can't I just, celebrate the fact that I did all the studying and I did all the hard work to achieve the A+ or the A-, right? There's a few ways to go about this. First of all, that brings a lot of arrogance, right? I mean, if you think that you did everything, you're going to be a very arrogant person, and no one likes arrogance. Arrogance doesn't lead to anything successful. Second of all, after a while, you're going to get stuck into a rut, because if you think that you do everything, that truly means that at one point, when you get stuck in a rut, you have no one to turn to but yourself, but you won't know how to navigate it because you're stuck, right? Instead of asking God for help, you're gonna have the sense of, I do everything is because of me, and if I'm in a stuck place, and I will figure it out on my own. When you can ask Allah, and through Allah's mercy, you can achieve success a lot more faster. Allah gave us the success by default, meaning, especially if you're a Muslim, we should already know that Allah wills everything, and Allah grants everything through His mercy. Right? So by default, if Allah willed it for you to have an A-, He gave it to you. He willed that for it to happen. So, and second, Allah plans everything. He plans out your life. Everything is written down. The A- was already written down, meaning Allah granted to you before you were born. But third, if you want to think about it, right? If you say Allah gave me everything, if you say Alhamdulillah for the bad situation or the good situation I'm in, that means Allah gave it to you, which in return lets you know that you're not attached to this dunya. Now, being attached to this dunya is fitna, right? A lot of fitna in this dunya. Being attached to this dunya is not a good thing. Why? Because this dunya is not our end goal. Our end goal is Jannah. So if you're attached to this dunya, you're gonna start almost borderline worshipping the things in this dunya. Or if you're not gonna worship, you're gonna be too attached to them to the point where now you start forgetting God. You start forgetting Allah. And if you always say, I did this, it's because I got the A-, there's a very, very big problem with that, is the fact that you're going to be super attached to this dunya. Meaning, every time you get an A-, you're going to always say, oh no, I did this, right? That means you're going to be super obsessed with the A-, right? You're going to be super obsessed with the things in this dunya. But if you just sat back and said, praise be to God for the A-, that means you give everything to Allah, right? You give all things to Allah. That means you're not really attached to this dunya. That means you don't really care about the A-, rather you care about the fact that Allah, has given you it. You're not too obsessed with the A-. That means we wouldn't be obsessed with this dunya. right? So I hope this kind of makes sense. That means you'll be just more keen on the akhirah, you'll be keen on Jannah. That's it, right? So it's quite simple. If the more hard work you do and the more pride you have for the hard work, well, then you're going to be too obsessed with it. You're going to be too attached to it. And that brings a problem, especially as Muslims. So now since we've gotten down that, by default, Allah gives everything anyways, but why we should be saying Alhamdulillah, let's go through some of the pains I went through that really led me to saying Alhamdulillah. I was not born in the richest family. Alhamdulillah, I was born in a good middle class family, and I'm really, really grateful for that Allah has provided me everything, right? Allah has provided me everything I truly needed and I truly wanted even. And I remember a few months ago, I was, reflecting on myself, and I was saying, I wish I was born into a family where my parents, were more based, or another way of saying it, my parents were more keen on, the school system and how it's not really, how it's pretty much a scam. Alhamdulillah for not being in that sort of family right now, because now I get to see everything from a 360 view. That means now, which solidifies my beliefs even more, right? Because I can see my parents working so hard, and they're still getting, taken advantage of, right? They're working in the corporate system, and they're just working hard, and there's so many other ways and avenues you could have gone, but now I get to see that to make sure that whenever I make a decision, it's a good decision. It's a decision that's based on rationality, because I have first-hand experience, or I have first-eye experience where I can see that, on a playing field. I can see that my parents doing it. I can see other people doing it. Rather, if I was born into a base family, I probably wouldn't see it as often, meaning I wouldn't be as hungry, or I wouldn't, or I wouldn't try other things. I would just be kind of ignorant as well. Second of all, Alhamdulillah for being a Muslim. Now this is probably the most important part, and this is why I say that, because Alhamdulillah for being a Muslim. This is so prevalent in this day and age, with all the stuff that's happening, especially in the Western areas, north of Europe, or just mostly Europe nowadays anyway, so just the West in general. We see this as prevalent as possible. Everything else is selling out, right? As you see, everything else is failing but Islam. Islam is standing up to the LGTB movement. Islam is standing up to the disgusting music that is being promoted to us. Islam is standing up to all the things, right? And Islam now is now seen as a direct truth by so many people, especially after the rise of red pill, right? So I was born into this. I was born into the truth from the get-go, right? I was been gifted this privilege from the get-go. What is there not to be grateful of? I could have been born into a liberal family. I could have been born into a family full of rock stars and been gone to that devilish life. I could have been born into a Christian family, but you see Christianity almost failing. Now, I don't want to spread hate, but I have to stand on my ground. And I could have been born into a Christian family, right? Celebrating Christmas and stuff like that, which is haram. And also, it's not even part of Christianity. So I was born into the truth from the get-go. And now, since I see all the stuff happening in the world, I have to say Alhamdulillah for being part of Islam. I have to say praise be to Allah to be put in the truth from literally the day I was born. And also praise be to Allah for guiding me, because there were times I fell off. There were times I was ungrateful. I'll say most of the time I was ungrateful, right? But wow, what a time to be a Muslim. And that's so prevalent, and this is so easy to understand nowadays. So if you're going through a tough time or a good time, say Alhamdulillah. Say it right now. This is an action step. Say Alhamdulillah right now, because it will truly change your life as it's changed mine, right? And this video was more explaining my sort of view to it and how it helped me, not really me telling you to say Alhamdulillah. I mean, you can say whatever you want, but hopefully my experiences can be a testimonial for this video. Hopefully my experiences could be a great case study for this video. Hopefully it can have some sort of credibility for you to start saying Alhamdulillah for everything, because you going through that tough situation right now, it's good. Trust me, it's good. Whatever it is, because Allah plans everything. That means it has to be good, right? And you may not see it right now, and I know this is cliche advice, but I mean, it's up to you if you want to be happy or if you don't want to be happy. Do you want to be one of those people that are not happy, always complaining, or do you want to sit back and say Alhamdulillah, well, I'm in this situation right now, let me make dua, let me pray my salah, and let me figure out a situation, how I can improve from this. How can I take this as a learning advantage? For example, if you feel really stuck right now, you started this self-improvement journey, but now you're falling off. This was me quite recently. So what I did is sat back, I said, Alhamdulillah, right? That I get to experience again a life that's really mediocre. So that ignited this fire in me to make a new routine, to make a new plan, to start self-improvement more stronger the next time. And alhamdulillah, it's working. So always say alhamdulillah, right? Whatever situation you're in, alhamdulillah. For example, the people of Palestine, right? This is a very, very sensitive topic, and it's a very sad and this is a very sad topic that's happening in the world right now. But at the end of the day, we have to say alhamdulillah, because yes, there are people dying, but most of them, alhamdulillah, are martyrs. They're going at one ticket to Jannah. This dunya doesn't even matter at the end of the day. So if this dunya doesn't matter, they just booked a ticket to the next life, which is the main goal anyways. This dunya is literally nothing. So they've won, right? But a lot of us, especially we, are very short-sighted, and we only see what's in front of us. We don't see the overall objective of it. So that's why we say alhamdulillah for it. So hopefully my situation and my kind of story did give you more insight, and this video is really just for me to look back on when I'm older, and it's kind of like a diary to myself. And this is what this YouTube channel is going to be mostly for, a diary of my self-improvement journey, and how Islam has 10x, 100x, a million x that. And I'm only 19, so it'll be great to see where I am at 21, at 25, at 28, 30, when I'm in my prime years, to see how far I really came. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you want to see my full-on transformation, or 1 year transformation for self-improvement, where I just sit down just like this video and just talk about my 1 year transformation journey, click the link in the description. I'll just leave a link of the last video, or you can go back on my channel and just watch that. But anyways, it's been great talking to you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.